Hey everyone, as usual, isn't it fun when we get to play with AI tools? And today I am going to be taking a look at Sculptor, which caught my attention the other day. And it says that it's the missing UI for parallel coding agents, like say Claude Code. And I've been playing around with those quite a bit, so always looking for ways that could help me as I continue to learn and grow and to use that. So where you get it, you can download it from this site, and then when you do, you will get this when you first open it up. So I'm just going to go ahead and enter my information. And once you do that, you're presented with screens to get all of the things that you need set up. I already have Docker, I already have Git, and you get a chance to configure Anthropic, which is what I use. So let me go ahead and do that. And looks like you can either use your API key or use one of these accounts. So I signed up for Claude Pro, so it's going to open a new window and ask me to sign in. And then once the sign is complete, then I have Anthropic configured. There's these different ways that you can contribute. I'm just going to go for essential only. Don't give them as much information or as little as you can. So what are we going to do? I am going to play around with one of the projects that I've been working on for a while. So this is something that actually a couple of months ago, was it 5? I walked through Claude Code even before it was still in beta at that time. And I created a subscription manager, which I actually need right now. But in this subscription manager, you're able to see all your subscriptions, manage renewals. Well, it's mostly just a list that you can look at. I'm going to use this as a means to play around it, potentially add a couple of features in parallel and see how Sculptor can help me with that. Here's the code running. It's on VS Code and I have it up and running. And when I last worked on this, I had put together an implementation plan. So I can probably just go in there and pick a couple of things that I can try out. I'll probably try a few features, like say implementing search, sorting, filtering functionality, and maybe add some basic spending visualization. So I'm just going to make my changes on the front end portion of the app. So with that in mind, let me head back to Sculptor and then select project for this. So after selecting the location, and it used Finder to do that, I have it up and running here. And at this point, I can actually describe some of the tasks. So I suppose I can just start adding the tasks that I wanted to work on. Looks like here I have the ability to use 4.5 as Opus. These are the current models, 4.5 having been released very recently, and different branches that are in here as well. Okay, so as I mentioned previously, there are a couple of tasks that I want to quickly try out so I can take this for a spin. And these are the ones for implementing search, sorting, and filtering, and also adding basic spending visualization. So let me copy that first one. And now heading back into Sculptor, I will just drop this in, and then there is this button that shows up called Start the Task. And at that point, it's probably going to go off and run this task, and then maybe I'll just add the other one as well. So kick off this task, and you can see on the left hand side it is generating a branch, and it's going through and running some things in there. What is it doing? All right, and then let's add another task in here. This was related to add basic spending visualization. I go ahead and kick that on as well, and you can see it's generating a branch. I can click on the first one that I set up, this one, and there's a video that it wants me to watch. I'll click out of that. It's kind of like an introduction video. All right, so dismissing the video, then as you can see, it's sort of like in a planning stage. So it says it's going to implement the search, the sorting, the filtering. Implementing the search, it's kind of knows based on the PRD requirements. I guess it created its own PRD. All right, so you can plan, you can see changes, and you can see logs. It's got a to-do list that it's maintaining. So that's the one that's running. And then on the other hand, let's look at the other one, which is implement basic spending. So if I click on that, it's also doing this in parallel, so it's going to help add basic spending visualization. The app already calculates monthly costs, and it's going to create like a simple yet effective visualization, and it's going off and doing that as well. So let's look at this first one and see what else we've got here. As it's going on, you can see on the top here the branch that it created automatically. Sculptor implements search and filter functions. And then there's also this merge, which I'm assuming allows you to merge back into main. And then there's also this interesting thing called pairing mode. So it looks like you can pair the agent from the IDE, and this will mirror it so that you can almost get like a preview. And so from what I saw, it's basically allows you to almost like check out the branch so that you can run it. Another point that is actually interesting, and what they do, they say that with Claude Code, you can do something like get work trees if you want to do things in parallel. But the way Sculptor does things is that it actually creates something like almost like dev containers, like separate dev containers that are running the code. And they say that this is probably better because you don't have to like, I don't know, like create like the whole code again. They explain it much better than I can. But let's see. We've got two things going on here in parallel. Pretty sweet. And we can try out pair mode. For trying out pair mode, I'm going to go back to this ad spending visualization. Look like that was a much easier one, and it's pretty much done with that. I suppose I can look at the changes that it's made. I'm assuming these are the files that it needed to make, some of the components that were changed. I haven't committed anything, but here's the fun part. I can go into pairing mode, and when I do, it's basically going to start the sync and pair things up. And so now if I go back to VS Code and get it up and running, it is running. You can see that at the bottom, which tells me which branch I am, I'm now on the ad spending visualization. And same thing, I can actually go look at, is this running or not? Let me make sure this is running. Oh yeah, it is running. And if I were to look like now at my browser, it should be running this one. Where is the spending visualization? Ah, there it is. So it ended like a spending overview with uncategorized entertainment. Not sure where I got it from, but it's obviously changed that as well. So I can quickly look at that. And then I can go back and potentially look at the other change that was going on. So I can come back to here, and I can stop the pairing and check out the other one, which was sorting, and see where we are. Are we done? Yeah, we're all done with that. Can do the same thing. I can pair and then go back and actually see my code. And you can see the spending visualization is gone, but the code related to searching and subscriptions, etc. is in here as well. So I guess I can search on Adobe. I can, sort by renewal date, all kinds of different filters. So this is a way that you can go back and forth and very easily like work with different features and just basically, it's a different way of working and working with these different agents. So interesting. And I suppose you can go back and forth with each one of these features and work on them independently, refine them. And when you're sort of happy with what you want it to do, then you can merge it into main. So it's like bringing that so-called feature branch into your main. And apparently Sculptor says that they make it really easy today to do. So I will just basically push the changes into main. And so at that point, it's pushing my changes here. Sorry, I always get the directions wrong. What I need to do is main needs to pull from here. So I probably have to commit the changes before I do that. So let me go ahead and commit those changes. So changes, I enter a commit message. Implementation of search functionality. And then after that, I can commit it. And once I commit, then I can go ahead and pull into main the changes that I have. And now if I go back to VS Code and I just see if the changes have been pulled in here, you can see that a new commit is now part of main, and I can similarly go back to my browser, and I have that functionality now in my main branch. I can do the same for the other change that I had, which was related to basically the spending visualization. So same thing, I can go ahead and add a commit message, added some better visualization for spend. Added, that's like bad English, added some better. Oh, let's go with that. And changes have been committed, and I can go back here and then pull the changes into the local branch. There may be merge conflicts that might happen. So it needs to run a git merge to kind of help with that. And apparently Sculptor is supposed to be really good at that. So that needs to run a git merge, which may create merge conflicts. If you want the agent's help, first push your local branch into the agent branch. I don't know. It's probably going to conflict anyway. So let's go ahead and do the merge and have it help us with any kind of merge conflicts. So let's go ahead and try to merge, to kind of like help out with these conflicts. So if I head back into VS Code, I can see red buttons here saying that there's some kind of merge conflict. I should probably have had the merge handled within Sculptor in the branch, but too late. So let's go ahead and try to merge this in the header. I'll go ahead and do that and then come back. Oh, just quickly, there was some new imports that came from the spending chart and ones that came from the filter. Let me just accept the combination. And that means that we've got the spending charts here as well. And I think that might be all I need to do to complete the merge. Do the commit changes, and hopefully we're good to go. And now if we look at the browser, we should see both the filter and the spending overview. So other than just kind of running into that merge issue, which may or may not have been easier to do within Sculptor, I think for the most part, it was actually not a little fun to just visually see this working. And I can definitely say that for sure, I would say, yeah, this is actually a good UI for parallel coding agents, where you just, from Sculptor, just give it like all of the different agents and things that, well, the different tasks that you want to work on, and then just have it go at it, and then you can check back and forth. You can actually pair with your IDE or whatever it is, so that you can very quickly view the results and then merge them in when you are happy with them. And I think I like this. I might just use this a little bit more. So there you have it. This was a very first look into what Sculptor is, and I know that there's some other features that they're going to be adding in the future, including the ability to work with codecs. So have fun with it if you try it out.